Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lion Den Sport interview today. Today we got Gully Singh Powar. Gully, how are you,
Yeah,
brother?
I'm all right, man. How are you, bro? I just want to say thank you for the opportunity having me on here, speaking about my journey in the sport of boxing. It's always an honor to speak about it and show myself as the champion I'll be one day.
You know what, brother? We've been talking quite a few months now, haven't we? And I've been
Yeah.
meaning to come up there, but it's just I will still come up there. We'll meet in person, and maybe we'll do a training session or something together. But it's good just to do this anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
Find out a little bit more about you, man. Just for the people who don't know, you're 5-0 professional.
yeah.
You've had a busy year, man. You went pro last year, and you've had 5 fights. Think you got a fight coming up next month, I believe again, right?
Yeah. So I'm fighting in September the 15th, literally 3 weeks and 4 days. I've been counting every single day. Every time I train, it's just another couple of hours towards the fight. So yeah, 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks left until we got a fight night again. That'll be my sixth fight. And I just want to keep fighting, I just want to keep fighting and staying active as much as I possibly can.
You know what? It's
So
so
that's what I
refreshing
train.
to hear. It's so refreshing to hear because now you see so many fighters. I've seen it is after one fight they take 3-4 months out, then they're straight back in the ring. But your last few fights, you fought, every 2 months, 1 month. You've been
Yeah.
very consistent, in your boxing career. Is there a reason why you want so many fights so early on?
You know what, bro? I'm a fighter in it. Like I just want to fight as much as I possibly can. I've got the old school mentality. I like staying active. I like training. I like the camp life. I'm enjoying the journey. At the end of the day, like I'm still young in the sport, but they always say your 20s will go fast. I rather enjoy my journey in the sport of boxing by fighting and enjoying my camps with my coaches, enjoying it with my family, enjoying the wins. That's what I thrive off. You know what I mean? And that's what will make me a true champion. If you look at the old school fighters back in the day when we're talking like Roberto Durandes, these guys are fighting every 2 weeks. I wish I could do that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. The times are, my promoter managers, whoever they ask, they say, no, I'm doing a fight. I'm like, yeah, get me on it. Give me the tickets. I'm on it straight away. Put whoever's in front of me, you know what I mean? I'll fight them, man. That's what I'm about. And, I think people see that already, like the people I'm sparring at young ages. I've sparred British champions. I've sparred, top fighters at top elite level fighters, you know what I'm saying? And I've always shown up and that's my mentality. I just want to keep fighting, keep winning. I want to be the youngest to win the titles as well. Like that's another dream I've got. But yeah, man, we'll touch base on that in a second.
Yeah, but you are 21. I think it's important for people to know that you're still, just in your very early 20s, and you made a decision. I see a lot now is a lot of fighters are turning pro quite young, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's good to see because I think when you're young, you get to develop the skills and the ability that you need to as you progress in your career, right?
100%. Yeah. So obviously, I think it's just about obviously the amateurs. The amateur scene wasn't really made for me. I was a good amateur. I won 5 Midlands titles, got to semi-finals twice, semi-finals elite. So I was in the top top four best in the country at the time at elite level. So that means I could have been picked for the GB camps and stuff. So there was big things coming from me, but my style wasn't made for the amateurs. Like they like the tip tap style, running around the ring. And I was more like a forward fighter, Mexican style type fighter, like breaking people down mentally and physically. And I made a decision. Me and my family, me and my dad, me and my coach, we all came to the decision that it's the right time for me to turn pro. And I think that I had a perfect style for it. And I think everyone's seen that now. You know what I mean? So it's just time for me to keep showing what I was about. And when my debut came, it was amazing. Like the style I had, it just worked for me straight away. And I was like, I was made for this, and I just carried on from there.
One thing I see about your style, and I've seen some of your fights, is you're very come forward aggressive fighter, non-stop
Yeah,
action, non-stop
yeah.
action. You need the engine in for you to do something like that, man. You
Yeah.
must be training hard to get up to that level.
So obviously I run 7 to 8 miles about 4 or 5 times a week. I do it at fast paces. I do it 6 minutes 40 seconds a mile, 6 minutes 30 each mile, and I do like fast paces. So I'm always relentlessly training. I run up hills all the time. I train in the night times. I train as much as I possibly can, but I also have the right rest as well. I have cold showers, cold plunges. I got a good sponsor called Randy, breathwork with Randy. He helps me a lot with my recovery and stuff. And it's I've got the right people around me. Also, I've got massage therapist guys. So I'm always recovering. I'm always sleeping throughout the day. I literally live, breathe, and eat boxing. Like this is what I literally do. Like I don't think people realize throughout my day, this is literally just what I do. Study boxing, train in the morning, go on my jogs in the morning, watch boxing, eat, go sleep, ready for the next session, go sleep again, ready for the next session. If that's what I'm doing 3 days, 3 times a day from training, and I just literally live this life, man. And at the end of the day, if I want to be a champion, I got to train hard, man. I can't have these celebrations for no reasons. You know what I mean? I ain't got nothing to celebrate for yet. I'm still early on in my career. I want to win all the titles before I can celebrate. You know what I'm saying? And I want to, you know, make a pathway as well for the next gen fighters as well. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what who you are. I just want to be like role models to the next generation to show them that I made sacrifices at such a young age and you can do the same thing. And that's why I post so much on my Instagram to show people that I'm a young man, but I'm still working hard all the time. And you don't have to be going out all the time and wasting your time. You can go for your passion, man. Go work towards your dreams. You know what I mean? Be the 1%. And I encourage the younger generation not to go towards the left path, but to go towards the right path. And I'm still young myself saying that. So like, but that's just what I want to be. I just want to be a role model. And I also want to pave a pathway for the next generation of Sikh fighters because we ain't got many fighters, you know what I mean? So if you look at how many Sikh fighters we've got, we've probably got under 20 at least. And obviously there is amateurs coming up, but I'm talking about professional boxing, you know what I mean? And it's key, it's a key thing that I build that, that pathway for them. And, hopefully we'll have them title fights and then big British title fight and big British title fights and stuff for world titles. I really believe I truly could get there, and that's what I'm working towards. So whatever comes my way, I'm ready for it, and I'm always prepared.
I'm going to touch base on the Sikh fighters. It was something I was going to touch base on with you a little bit later.
Yeah.
It is something that we've seen a progression of recently. When I was boxing 10 years ago, can you believe it, bro? There was no Sikh fighters coming through, especially at
100%.
elite level. You had no fighters, but now you see yourself. You were, as you said, you were an amateur, quite a good amateur at super and bantamweight. You got pros like Dylan Cheeman coming through. Indabasi recently won his fight. He went in Southern area against
Yeah,
South Africa. There's been it's so good to see some fighters coming through, and as you said, for the next generation to now want to go to the next level, they need to see people like you, need
yeah.
people like that to show them that listen, it can be done. How did you mentioned about that? But why do you think there's been an influx of Sikh boxers come through now?
I don't know. You know what? Speaking same thing with me. Like obviously, I started boxing when I was 9, so that was like 11 years ago, 12 years ago now. And me saying 12 years ago, it makes me sound old, but I'm not. But, yeah, when I was coming up, when I was 9, going different boxing clubs, there wasn't any Sikh fighters at all. There was different races, but never the one Sikh fighter. And I was that one Sikh fighter. And the role models as an Asian fighter I was looking up to was Amir Khan, and he was an amazing fighter coming up. You know what I mean? He did a lot for the music Muslim community, and that inspired me. Like kind of growing up, thinking like I kind of want to be like that, pave the pathway, and inspire the next generation. And you know what? I will do it. Like I 100% believe in myself that I can do it. And once again, all I got to do is make them sacrifices now. Work hard in the gym, train hard, spar the hardest people, get hurt in training. You know what I'm saying, and win all my fights, and that will lead me to doing that. And I think that will come down naturally. But that is something that's definitely a part of my legacy that I want to create. And as much as I want to win titles, and the thing is, I really want to win every title out there. Like if people could see throughout my day what I talk about, it's literally what I always talk about. I want to win every fight in style. I want to be relentless in every fight. I want to train hard. And literally, it's like, how can I explain it? My dream is to just achieve everything the greats did and be a part of the greats as well. And like people always say, yo, don't believe in your own hype, don't do this and that. But if I don't believe in myself, who's gonna believe in me? You know what I'm saying? I have to believe in myself. I have to tell myself I'm a champion. That's what Muhammad Ali did. That's what Canelo, that's what Mayweather did. They talk about themselves in the greatest way. And I'm a part of that. You know what I mean? I've always had this desire with me to keep pushing forward. And like I said, I want to inspire the next generation. And that's one of my key things I want to do. And, I want to be a great role model. And one person that does come to my mind is Terence Crawford. He's a true role model, the way he came up. You know what I mean? He changed his lifestyle. And now if you look at his city, all the kids look up to him. He's made his kids into athletes, and that's an amazing thing to do. And I look at Terence Crawford, and I was a Spence fan. I can't lie, I was rooting for Spence, but Crawford is an amazing fighter. And looking into his lifestyle more and more and the way he's come up, it truly inspires me as a fighter. And I look at every other great champion and take little attributes from them. Doesn't matter if it's personality, doesn't matter if it's stylistically, fight wise, doesn't matter if it's just anything. it's all about learning, being a sponge, and that's what boxers need to be. They need to study the game. They need to know their old school fighters, and that's what I do, man. Literally, I look at fighters that people would even know about, like Alfonso Zamora, a bantamweight fighter,
Said
Mexican
that
one
today,
that
didn't
was.
you? You shared that
Thing
today.
is,
Did you share that?
yeah,
Share it
there
today.
was who won. Yeah, that was Juan Laporte versus Salvador Sanchez. Like, but people won't talk about them because it was featherweights, bantamweights, super bantamweights. But them guys were amazing fighters. If you're a true boxing fan and you knew these guys were 15-round fighters. They fought Salvador Sanchez, Wilfredo Gomez. These guys were legends. You know what I mean? Like, I class them as legends in my opinion. Then they left a great legacy. Puerto Rico versus Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Just amazing stuff. And once again, man, like, I want to be a part of that, but in a different way and build my own journey up. And I look at it, like I said, I look at every single great champion and I put it all into one. You know what I mean? And that's Gully, that's me, you know what I mean? Like, even now I look at Inoue, Canelo, you know what I'm saying, Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, even though Errol Spence is still a lost. I don't look at him as no other different. He's still a champion in my eyes. The guy won 3 belts, you know what I mean? He's fighting back, come from a car crash, beat a great champion in Danny Garcia that came off a loss against Sean Porter, which was a controversial, and Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? You can't put these fighters down. Errol Spence beat him in fashion, and he also beat Augusta and beat Pacquiao. That's
Kel
what I
Brook,
see. Yeah,
Kel Brook,
exactly,
when he was
exactly,
in his prime in Sheffield. Errol Spence, world class fighter. It's just Terence
100%,
Crawford that shows you there's levels, right? It
100%.
shows you that. Yeah, he could have. Terence got. I look at Terence Crawford, and I think he could have been a success in any era. You go to the 80s
100%.
when you had the Sugar Ray Leonard, when
Yeah,
you
yeah,
when you had who else was around there? Robert Duran, all these
yeah,
guys.
yeah,
He could
100%.
have,
Yeah.
you know, who knows if he would have won, but he could have certainly competed against these guys.
I reckon he would have yeah, he would have definitely gave him. I think Duran would have probably gave him problems because he was a bit of a brawler. He would have pushed him, punched him in his arms. He would have been a different, and he was tough as well. I think you got to be stylistically in it. You got to look at the stylistic. Like, remember, them guys are 15-round fights. I think Crawford could probably do 15 rounds. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
You know
man,
what I mean? Even Spence, though, man.
he's in
Spence
the
could
all
do
year
15.
round. He's in the
Yeah,
gym
yeah.
all year round.
That's
Do
what
you
I'm saying.
know Robert Duran? I saw this crazy video on Robert Duran training with Nigel Benn. Have you
Yeah,
seen that?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
mad. Isn't it? Nigel
I
Benn's
know.
super middleweight, and he was like a lightweight, and he's making him miss all over the place.
And this is what I'm trying to say. Duran, there's levels. Like, Nigel Benn was an amazing fighter, but then Duran was like up there, man. Like, he was and Nigel Benn, man, what he achieved, knocking guys out. Like, there's no joke as well. You know what I mean? The guy was knocking guys out like he was, and even in the amateurs, he's knocking everybody out. But once again, man, you got to study your sport if you love it. You know what I mean? You got to treat it like it's your education, and that's what I do. So,
Where does this passion for boxing come from you?
God. No, I think it's just keeping like, as my dad put me in boxing from a young age, obviously because I was hyperactive, and I think over time I've just desired, and it's come strong and stronger and stronger every single time. And I think that, when you start seeing improvements and you start seeing how your spars are going, and you're sparring great fighters and you're sparring British champions, doesn't matter who you're sparring, it could be top level fighters, and you look and you think, wow, like, I've just done this, and that boosts my confidence up every single time. And once again, man, like, there's I don't know, it's just, I think every great champion that's been out there has always had a strong desire, and I'm part of that, like I said. And it's a desire that comes from something within, and it's something that I don't want to be average. I want to be something special. I want to be someone like that sets a record straight. You know what I mean? And that's my dream. So yeah.
And how about your dad? What does your dad mean to you in your boxing career? You've mentioned him quite a bit. For me, my dad was a big inspiration for my boxing. He was a
Yeah,
boxer himself. How about yourself? What does it mean for you in
yeah,
your?
man, it's massive inspiration to me as well. Because at the end of the day, it's like having that comfort thing. Like, your father's with you. You know what I mean? He's training hard all the time. And when I was younger, he was there in my corners when I was sparring and stuff. So, like, it made me more comfortable. So as growing up, it's like we had that bond, and he was a massive boxing fan, and he's educated me on fights that even I don't know about. So, like, even though he didn't do boxing himself, he knew about the old school fighters. You know what I mean? And I didn't know about Roberto Duran until my dad told me. To be fair, I'll be honest with you. And Lennox Lewis, that educated me on Lennox Lewis before, like, and that was his favorite fighter, Hagler. Like, I wouldn't. To be fair, if it wasn't for my dad telling me certain things, I wouldn't know certain things, and I read books about them now. I'm like, wow, this true amazing story. But a massive, massive part of my boxing, yeah. But
Quality.
so is my other parts of my family, like my mom as well, a massive part of it. you know what I'm saying, my
Food?
sister,
Your
brother-in-law.
mom happy with the food?
100%, man. It always, man. Yeah, my mom's a massive part of the food, like helping with the food and that, obviously. But I do most things myself now because as you get older, and you have to in it. But like I said, man, my mom's a massive part of it as well. Like I think she obviously, I don't think any mom or dad really wants their son to be punched in the face, but that's how the sport of boxing has to be. You know what I mean? And like my sister's a massive part of it. She's a big, always there, shouting and stuff. And my brother-in-law's the same thing as well. So yeah, man.
It's a really family thing now, isn't it? It's a family
Yeah,
affair now, right?
it goes into it. At the end of the day, it's like it becomes a natural thing. I don't even see it as a thing where it's like I don't need to look and ask them. They just do it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Sick, man. Got one thing that you said earlier, and I didn't touch base on it because we were in the conversation. Was you talked about being, you can't be humble in this sport. You have to believe in yourself. You have to express yourself.
yeah,
You can, and that's something that I'd come across you straight away when I see some of your Instagram posts, see some of that, and I respect that quite a bit because
yeah,
if you go back to the generation again when we were doing it, we were told to be humble. Just stay, but you're always within yourself and you don't express yourself as much as you can, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
But I think you've got to express yourself now more, right? But where did that come from yourself? Where does that sort of belief and stuff come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, I think belief is just what comes within. Like, if I keep faith in God, you know what I mean. At the end of the day, I've always had faith in God, and whatever God wants for me to happen in the future will happen. And that's a massive part of my career is God. Like that, that's something that will always be there. You know what I mean? So I pray upon it. But I think it's just a desire within. Like it's something that came in naturally for me. I think as I got older, I started working on it, and I think just your confidence comes from your training. If hard work beats talent. There's some fighters out there that are talented and don't work hard, but there's fighters like me that wasn't talented but I worked very, very hard, and I beat them fighters that are talented now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that they don't put in the work. It's just that there's no limit to hard work. You know what I mean? There's always the extra mile you can push. Like there's at one point where I was running 4 miles. Now I run up to 7, 8 miles. That was literally what 2 camps ago. My third fight. I thought, why am I only running 4 miles, man? I can run 7 miles. I can run 8 miles. I can run 10 miles. Even in boxing, like I used to train for probably I'd say about an hour and 15 minutes. I did the extra 45 minutes. So that makes a massive impact. You know what I mean? And it's just a desire for me. I think it's just self belief. There's a way you come across like, you know, you got to have the self belief, but there's always a way to do it as well. Like I come across I want to be a role model, but also be a self believer. So I want to be an inspiration to the next generation, and that's something I really want to do. Obviously, at the moment, I'm still young myself, so I'm working towards my own goals. But when the time's right, people will see that inspiration side of me and the role model side of me. And anyone that has a conversation with me knows that already. My coaches, my family, everybody. So that will come in time. I think that just, all the greats don't become inspiration straight away. It comes in time, you know what I mean? And role models all the time. If you look at Crawford now, he's gone back to his city, he's giving it back. But if you looked probably early on in his career, he's working towards himself first, making himself better, make an impact on himself, and then boom, next generation, focusing on them, maybe open up a boxing club. Same with Lennox Lewis. I'm pretty sure he opened up a boxing academy after he retired. And that's the
Africa,
thing.
Africa, I think he's got one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like at the end of the day, that will come in time. But anyone that knows me, any young person that's ever met me, I used to work in schools and stuff, you know what I mean, with the organization. And I used to work in different schools, and they know how much of an impact I had as a boxer, as an athlete. And at the time I was only an amateur, I was probably 18, 19 years old. But at the same time, this is what I'm about. I don't feel like I came this world to just be like, yeah, just be an average person. I want to be truly that 1% and change something. You know what I mean? I want to change something in boxing. I want to make an impact on the next gen. And that I keep bringing the next gen because that's actually one of my goals as well. But at the same time, I want to achieve everything for myself. I want to build a legacy. I want to be remembered as a true champion and someone that worked hard all throughout their years. And that's just something that's in me. Yeah.
Mm. As you said perfectly right there, one step at a time.
Yeah, 100%. It will all come in time.
Well, you've mentioned quite a bit about the English title. We got
Yeah,
is it Zainab Hussain? At,
Zahid Hussein,
sorry, Zaid Hussain at Super Bantamweight, who's the English champion. Um,
and he's fighting that Andre Grant, I think his name is.
he is.
And I want that fight soon, man. I know I was gonna mention that anyway. I want that fight soon. I'm confident I can beat them guys, man. Like that's not even something that I'm worried about. Like you know, I respect them both, whatever they do, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're both getting in the square circle kind of fighting. But I'm going in there with my head high and I'm gonna win that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in there as a true champion. I'll go in there with a lot of confidence and they'll see what time it is, man. Like people ain't seen the relentless side of me. People could see the spars I was in and you know the hard work I put in behind the scenes. You can't doubt me, man. You know what I mean? So when the time's right, that fight will be made, and that's something that we already in talks for. But I'm focused on the next fight, which is September the 15th. I'm not looking at overlooking anybody. Get that fight out of the way. Get there. Obviously, I'll see what they're doing. Obviously, see how their fight goes. I probably might go there. You know what I'm saying? If I get a fight in between November, get that fight, another 6 round win, and after that, hopefully in the new year, we can make that super bantamweight English title fight. And I do definitely want it. I say that with passion as well.
Who's your promoter?
Errol Johnson,
Errol Johnson.
he's from
And your
BCB Promotions.
promotions, and obviously you've always you've always boxed under the Wolverhampton.
Yeah, yeah.
So you know, yeah, get some more experience there as well,
What
right?
it is I like the way I'm coming up. I want to be the guy that shocks the world, and it sounds like once again people will be like, "Wow, this guy's talking like he's world champion," but it's not even like that. It's like I want to be that guy that comes out of nowhere and comes up and say, "Wow, this kid's talented. Wow,
Mm.
this kid got something in him." You know what I mean? And as my trainer calls me the dark horse. You know what I'm saying? Someone that comes out of nowhere, and people don't see what I'm like until I fight. You know what I mean? And whatever you've seen clips or spars or bag work sessions, that's like 0.001%. If you guys could see the runs I do with 5 kg strapped on me, 7 mile runs. You know what I'm saying? If people seen the hard work I put in, the 10 rounds of sparring I do with welterweight fighters when I'm only a flipping featherweight weighing in the gym, people would see think, wow, this kid's something different. But once again, my actions will speak louder than words when I fight for them titles. They will see that. You know what I mean? If you've ever seen me fight live, or if you ever seen my mentality in the boxing club, if you ever seen a conversation with me, you'll know what it is. But to the rest of the general boxing fans, they will see that eventually. And once again, I'm here to change something. I want to make an impact. So yeah.
You got big plans, man. We'll definitely be following the journey, man. I'm looking forward to it. You're getting me excited. You're making me a believer. I was a believer already. You know, I followed your journey for quite a while. We met, as you said earlier, at the MLS, and I was impressed how you come across. And you already tour for some super bantamweight as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think they're all getting taller though, because that I think that Zaida Sane's about 5'10", and he's a super bantamweight. You know what I mean? And Liam Davis is 5'10", so I'm 5'7" and a half. So like I had the half. I just say 5'7", 5'8". Sorry, but like, say the half, but like just say 5'8". Yeah, but like the fighters are getting taller. Even like if you look at the heavyweights, the Land of the Giants now, they're like 6'7", but back in the day, there was like 6'1". So they're all growing, growing, growing. Like if you look at, to be fair, I'm average height. I'd say I'm a good height for it. I look strong for the weight, but you know, I think that's how it has to be. Like I'm dropping, you know, when I get the right nutritionist and that, I'll be at my best. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Who's in the team so far? Who's made up as a team?
So I've got my coach Richie Carter. I've got Andy Owen. I've got Errol Johnson, which is my promoter. Obviously I've got my family, and that's it right now. Obviously I'm still coming up, but I'm looking to. I've got my sponsors as well. All my sponsors, shout out to them guys as well. I've got Breathwork with Randy Jobsworth that sponsor me. Fireway Wolves, all the people that help me. A few clothing lines that help me out. So like I'm extending, I'm growing, I'm going. You know what I mean? It's all about growth, and I think that's something that's coming in time. I think someone that makes a massive impact on my career is breathwork with Randy, because the breathwork I do, keeping me in the right mental state, helping me with connecting. You know what I'm saying? Connecting with myself, doing the cold plunges, recoveries, things. And it's been a massive impact on my career, making me feel relaxed before sparring sessions. You know what I'm saying? So like, and fights as well. And he's made a massive impact. Jobsworth, they've helped me out a lot with all my scans and stuff. I've got to give them credit. They've always come to my fights. Big, big, big shout out to them. But yeah, like I'm going, and that's all it's about. It's about growth, and I just want to keep going. I want to keep showing what I'm about, keep putting my clips out there, and just as the time goes on, as the years go on, as the months go on, whatever you want to say, people are just going to see growth in me, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stay disciplined, stay ready for whatever comes my way, and it's all in God's timing.
Well, what's the breathing exercises you do? That's quite interesting.
So I like do like a lot of like I forgot the called. Like there's different types of breathing. So like it's like breathing through
Hof
your
stuff.
nose, breathing out. Say again, sorry.
The Wim Hof. Do you do the whole?
Yeah. That's the one. I forgot the names now. Obviously, I know how to do them. It's just I forgot. It's like a lot of wind up breathing. Then you do I forgot it's nasal breathing. There's different things
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean, so it's like it just helps you connect and relax. Like I think it's good for anxiety. It's good for depression. So if anyone, just putting this out there now, if anyone's suffering anxiety, because I know a lot of people do. If anyone's suffering anything, depression, I'm telling you, breathwork is a way forward. Go on YouTube, try it out. You know what I mean? There's people out there that make videos. And I do it a lot because obviously as a fighter, I think you should do it as a combat athlete, and also, the amount of pressure that goes on our heads, especially for a young fighter and taking a loss, winning. It doesn't matter where you're at in a bad sparring session. These things are needed, even in tennis, any sport you're in. I think it's key. And it's even if you're just a normal person, a standard guy that's just working a normal job, do it. You know what I mean? It's really impactful. Like it's helped me a lot. And I'll tell you one thing, like it won't. I will continue to keep doing it because it's just amazing. It's like connecting with your own chakras and stuff. It's just truly amazing. Honestly, you won't. It's unexplainable, but when you do it, you'll feel it for yourself. If you know what I mean.
Mm. Breathing's connected to everything, isn't it? It's so important. So important that even when you're running, when you're walking, anything, controlling your breath is so important, and it's something I'm looking into as well. I think it's important to. It would help your performance so much more. So it's great to see you're doing that. And I've got one last question for you. The community, the Sikh community,
Yeah.
are they getting behind you as a fighter? Do you find they're supporting you? And if not, how can they support you more in your journey?
No, I think I'm growing. I don't think a lot of people know about me yet, so I can't really say too much. Shout out to great fighters that had me on their show, um, MLS. So like I think that will just come in time once I get this growth. I think not everybody knows about me because I'm still young. You know what I mean? I'm still coming up the ranks. Obviously, Dylan Chiba won the boxer series in the Bassi, just won the Southern area. So like them guys are gonna be known for what they're doing, but with me, I'm still a young man in the sport of boxing. I think in due time, the community will get behind me, and that's something that I'm definitely, hoping for. I'd say they will. I think they will, but that will come in time, man. Like I'm just patient with everything. I'm patient with everything that's coming my way, and it's slowly getting there, baby steps, slowly getting there. So yeah.
Amazing, man. That's great to hear. Goody, thank you very much. Is there anything that you want to say before we finish this interview?
I was going to say massive thank you for having me on here. I appreciate this helps me raise my profile. So I just have a massive thank you to you. And shout out to all my sponsors, everyone that supported me. If you want to get behind me, follow me on Instagram, Gully Boxer. And if you want to be inspired, watch my videos. You know what I mean, and just keep watching the journey.
Well, what we'll definitely do is hopefully I'll be down there soon, and I want to do a podcast interview properly in person and
Yeah,
properly.
100%.
They're the best ones, and maybe we'll get a little training session, and then you could put me through my paces.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm definitely on
Oh,
that.
great, guys.
Nice
Thank
one.
you very much for listening. We look forward to the next one. Cheers.